And we are live. And thank you all for tuning in again. Today is Monday, June 24th. It is noon, and you are currently watching the Skill Building Monday Drawing Group here live on the Reinventing the Tattoo Network. I am your host for today, Jason Leeser, uh, and I will be hosting today's session. Uh, And if this is working for you, please let us know in the comments and in the chat. And please tag a friend who loves tattoos. And welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Community, where tattoos, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join in these live streams, real world events, to share and inspire and ultimately create better art and tattoos together. We beam out nearly every day, and with your help, have evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on-demand tattoo and art shows that have been receiving rave reviews. You can find Reinventing the Tattoo at www.reinventingthetattoo.com, and you do not have to subscribe right away. We do offer 3 options for you to go through and try it out before you decide to purchase a subscription. The option is to go through and take a sample webinar from the Reinventing the Tattoo Canon, where you get to go through and kind of take a quick little preview of what it's like to have a full Canon subscription. You can also go through as your second option and get some free advice from Guy Aitchison about your unique goals. Or the third option is to take a comprehensive tattoo history course from Jay Brown on tattoo history, which is unbelievably comprehensive. Will not be disappointed if you are a tattoo history nerd such as myself. Trust me on that. It's super awesome. At reinventingtattoo.com, you can also find a full event schedule with full weekly and special event live stream details. For example, if you wanted to hop into today's live stream, you could easily go to www.reinventingthetattoo.com, click on the event page, and you'll see a full Google Calendar pop up with links to the live streams for this show and all of the shows coming up. So don't be afraid to jump in and say hi and maybe show off something you're working on. At reinventingthetattoo.com, you can also find access to our Reinventing 24/7 channel, which is a lot like our Roku channel, which I'll be mentioning in just a minute. It's got about 13 different episodes playing at any given time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you can also find access to a whole host of professional development courses from over 20 world-class tattoo artists. Um, these are all on-demand seminars, so if you want to learn how to tattoo a skull like Bob Tyrrell, you can find that there. If you want to learn how to do lettering like BJ Betts, guess what? That's also there. Maybe those aren't your style and you want to do more stuff like Andre Malcolm. Well, guess what? He's also got on-demand seminars all available at reinventingthetattoo.com. You can also find us in both of the app stores, the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, as well as our Reinventing the Tattoo YouTube channel, our Reinventing the Tattoo Roku channel, which I hinted at just a minute ago, which has 12 to 15 different episodes going at any given time, 24 hours a day, 6 days a week, and is available on all Roku-enabled devices. If you have a smart TV, a Roku TV, or a Roku device, guess what? You can pull up the Reinventing the Tattoo channel and stream it all live right there from your Roku-enabled device. You can also find us in all major podcast directories such as Apple and Spotify. Or you can do what most people do and just go to your web browser and do a quick search for Reinventing the Tattoo, and it'll pop up. It's all right there. Except for the book. The book is still currently out of print. Sorry about that. Nothing I can really do about that. If you do come across a copy of it for sale, please let me know. I would love to get my hands on another copy. Mine's getting a bit old and worn. Spine's starting to crack from different sections from reading it so often. So I'm always looking for another copy. Once again, if this is working for you, please drop us a comment in the chat area and please tag a friend who loves tattoos. Maybe it's someone looking to get their first tattoo, or maybe it's someone looking to break into the tattoo industry. We welcome all types and all walks and all levels. Please go through and tag everyone that you know that may love tattoos. We have a number of weekly staple shows we always encourage people to tune into. Starting off on Mondays at 9 a.m., we have Drawing for Tattooers with James Wisdom. To go through and do a deeper dive into the basic drawing techniques and strategies and the fine art aspect of being a tattooer in the day and age. Uh, we go through and we discuss all manner of different topics from color theory to just sketching strategies and everything in between. And that's at 9 a.m. Drawing for Tattooers with James Wisdom. Following that show on Mondays at noon, we have the Skill Building Monday Drawing Group with Jason Leeser, where we get to go through and work on specific skills and talk about life as a tattoo artist. And maybe it's time management we discuss, or singing, or ways to improve ourselves. Those are all skills. And today is this show is the perfect example of how to go through and build your skill sets up. Following today's show and this show at noon, at 9 p.m. Mondays, we have a subscribers exclusive drawing group with Sandy McAndrew from the Reinventing the Tattoo Network. And this is only available for people that have a subscription to Reinventing the Tattoo. Whether it's the Reinventing the Tattoo Canon subscription or the Evolution subscription, or even if you just have a subscription to the Monday evening drawing classes, I can tell you from firsthand experience, having been there before and taken those Monday evening drawing groups for the better part of 2 years, that there is a notable difference between the work that I started out doing and the work that I'm doing now. Um, I credit all of that to the Monday evening drawing groups. It will really help push you to be a better artist. Every week we discuss something different in the Reinventing the Tattoo Canon, a skill set that, maybe we need to work on a little bit more. You're in there with like-minded people. It's a very welcoming environment. It doesn't matter what your skill level is. We're all there to learn and get better. So it's a great place to go through and do that. And that is 9 p.m. Monday evenings, a subscribers exclusive drawing group with Sandy McAndrew. Following all of that on Monday, on Tuesday, we have the Tattoo Weekly show with Gabe Ripley, Lauren Gregory, and Fawn Baker. And that's a great place to go to check out all of the latest news impacting the tattoo industry. Maybe it's new legislation or restrictions being passed, maybe it's new policies or procedures, all of that and a lot more. That's all available during the Tattoo Weekly with Gabe Ripley, Lauren Gregory, and Fawn Baker at 11 a.m. on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays at noon, we have the Tattoo Now show with Gabe Ripley, where we get to go through and do a deeper dive into the business aspect behind tattooing, whether it's marketing and advertising strategies, or maybe it's travel visas for artists that like to travel a lot. Maybe it's going through and streamlining your client booking process. All of that and a lot more. That's all of on Wednesdays at noon. Tattoo Now show with Gabe Ripley. And capping off the week on Thursdays at 6 p.m., we have the Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast with Fawn Baker, where we get to go through and share some of our stories about collecting tattoos and all of the adventures we've had along the way. Well, we do also have a couple of special events coming up, starting off with Hell City Tattoo Convention in Phoenix, Arizona, and the special guests that will be attending the Hell City show include Paul Booth, the Master of Darkness himself, Mike Cole, Tim McEwen, Ron Earhart, Amber Joy, D-Rock, my man D-Rock, Oak Adams and Anna Mia, Brian Geckel, Jimmy Tessio, Pepe Carrere, Chris Mack, and of course, yours truly. I will also be in attendance at the Hell City, Phoenix, Arizona Tattoo Convention, doing tattoos all weekend long. Come join us. If you are in the Phoenix area and you're looking to get an incredible tattoo, by all means, take a look. It's the Hell City Tattoo Convention in Phoenix. After that, we have Paradise Tattoo Gathering, October 24th through 27th in Hancock, Massachusetts. And the lineup is absolutely insane this year. If you've ever thought about attending the Paradise Gathering, this is the year to do it. We have an absolutely incredible lineup this year. and that will be taking place in Jiminy Peak, Massachusetts. Jake Meeks from the Fireside Tattoo Network will be in attendance. He will be broadcasting live. Kyle Olson will be there. Renee Little, Mickey Schlick, Sandy McAndrew from the Reinventing the Tattoo Network. Thea Duskin. Corey Ferguson will be there. Steve Butcher will be teaching seminars this year. Christina Christie will be there. Anthony Tex signed up. Anthony Tex will be doing seminar at Jiminy Peak, Massachusetts for the Paradise Tattoo Gathering. I am unbelievably excited for that. He is one of my favorite artists in the world. I can't get to the guy's work. It's just incredible. We also have Russ Abbott, who will be teaching a seminar this year on Procreate 3D models. So you do not want to miss that. We are going to have a ton of absolutely unbelievably talented artists teaching seminars. That's Paradise Tattoo Gathering, October 24th through 27th in Hancock, Massachusetts. It's definitely going to be one that you do not want to miss if you want to get better at tattooing. I'd like to go through and thank some of our sponsors, some of the people that make these shows happen. Start off, worldtattooevents.com, the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. They're constantly keeping everything updated. As we know, there are still tattoo conventions and events that are getting rescheduled as we live in this post-pandemic era. So if you want the latest, most up-to-date information on a tattoo convention or event coming to a city or town near you, or maybe it's when you plan on visiting, Lord knows that's how I book all of my vacations, take a look at worldtattooevents.com. Also, thank tattoonow.com, technology tattooers, the leading edge professional development, management, and digital tools for tattooers of all levels. They're 100% competitive with any type of CRM, mailing list, or scheduling software out there. So if you're really looking to get the most streamlined way to get new clients in your chair, take a look at tattoonow.com. They will not disappoint you. They've been an industry leader for over 20 years. Would also like to go through and thank Guy Aitchison at guyaitchison.com. He is the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo. Go to guyaitchison.com where you can pick up a copy of his Biomech Encyclopedia, some of his tutorial DVDs. I believe he still has a couple of custom coil machines for sale, as well as countless fine art prints and the occasional oil painting, all for sale at guyaitchison.com. Would also like to say a shout out to our affiliates, and that is the Apprenticeship Diaries with Amy Nichols. It's one of my favorite resources to inform people about that are looking to become a tattoo artist and want to know what an apprenticeship is like, or even advice on how to get a good apprenticeship. Maybe you already are an apprentice and you're looking to understand what a good apprenticeship is about to see if you're in one that is good. Take a look at the Apprenticeship Diaries with Amy Nichols. You will not be disappointed. As always, we ask that if you like today's show, please post a positive review on the channel, drop some comments, advertise it on your social media feeds, help us get the word out. If you would like to host a Reinventing the Tattoo event, become a sponsor of our community. If you are looking for fine art or a tattoo critique, you can always email management at reinventingthetattoo.com and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Today's intro. Today I've got a very, very personal topic that. Oh, hey, Melly. Mel's World. There we go. Sorry. Hey, from Vegas. How's it going? So today's topic is about pushing yourself. Okay. It's something that we all need to do, and it's something that some of us don't do very often. Human beings by nature have a tendency to get into a comfort zone where we go through and we like where we are and we like, what we're putting out and things seem comfortable. That to me is a telltale sign. As soon as I start to feel comfortable, for me, that's immediately when I start to say, hey, I need to start pushing myself harder. Um, because in this world, in this life, and especially in the tech industry, if you are not constantly progressing, if you are not constantly moving forward, you're falling behind because there's someone out there that's working way harder than you are, that's going to be in your spot sooner than you realize it. So you have to constantly push yourself. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can do that. You can try new things, right? New equipment, new programs, different styles, different tools, different techniques. Maybe you learned a different technique from one of your coworkers. You've been waiting on a good tattoo to try it out on. It's one way to get outside of your comfort zone and really help you become a better artist. You can also do some self critiques. Take a look at what it is you need to improve upon. And if you absolutely think that your stuff is phenomenal and you don't need to improve at all, and that you are absolutely incredible at what you do, maybe that's a sign. Just a thought. But we all need to improve on things. I'm not perfect in everything that I do, and I'm fully able to admit that. And there's definitely a lot of things I know I need to work on. So that's what I'm constantly doing day in and day out, every single day. Lately, I've been struggling a lot with inspiration, and how to, constantly just stay inspired and look at things from a different light, different direction. So I reached out to a few artists and got some advice on what I can do to help that. And one of my friends in the tattoo community suggested that I start looking at AI art programs for inspiration. And so I started digging into that over the past few weeks. And I've started to really kind of understand it a little bit better. And, I'm starting to use it more as a tool for inspiration than I am like, oh, cool, I'll just go on to this art program and I'll type in what I want, it'll spit something out, and I'll be like, all right, cool, that's what they're getting. No, I'm going to use that as inspiration to create something unique that's definitely more me. Um, it's something that I really might be a good idea of a perspective or lighting or color scheme. Maybe it's got different concept for, hey, maybe if you do something like this or throw this in there, that can be helpful. And I've been using a number of different AI platforms over the past few weeks to try some of them out. And I found one or two that I've really started to take a shine to, that's able to create art in a way that, for me is very not necessarily akin to the kind of stuff that I want to do, but it's definitely a lot more, I want to say, tattoo friendly. Um, and that is openart.ai. It is a paid for platform, but for me, what it's able to generate and the different styles of artwork that it creates is absolutely incredible. And I find that if you use the right model on that platform, you can create very tattooable images, um, that are definitely different than maybe what you would come up with if you were asked to draw something for a client. Um, I really enjoy using it for inspiration. Once again, that's openart.ai. And it me has seemed it's become definitely something, a tool in my toolbox that I will utilize to help me out getting over creative blocks, getting new inspiration for concepts, because you can throw in a whole jumble of different words. I was playing around with doing like a Sherlock Holmes chimpanzee, right? Something wacky and different, something fun. Um, and it spit out a whole bunch of really different images that I started to look at, and I was like, oh man, that could actually be kind of cool. Like, what if, what if this was a little different? So maybe I can draw that bit in there. I like the way that this works, and the light source is a little off. Let me adjust that. But really has been helpful for inspirational purposes. And it's absolutely phenomenal. I really tried it with a lot of other stuff that I'm starting to get into, or that I have been into. A lot of the Art Nouveau kind of Japanese themed kind of work that I really truly love, really want to work on some more. But for a lot of the day to day stuff where it's like, okay, how can I take this concept that my client just came in with? Um, maybe it's a concept that's been done several times. Something about blue eyes and an animal or something like that. Um, but you know what? Go through if you're struggling with ways to go through and kind of come up with new inspiration on how to do the same thing differently. Take a look at AI. It's definitely a good inspirational tool for you to check out. Uh, you can also go through and take a look at work that's already been done and then try to draw something completely different from that still incorporates the same elements. But like I said, it's something that I'm starting to really dive into or really helping push myself to create new stuff and to be more inspired with what I do. Um, so the thought then you guys may want to check out. Who knows? Maybe it'll help. Maybe it won't. You never know until you try. On that note, I do know that's one thing that I am still currently working on and moving upon are my Asian inspired dragons. So I'm going to go through and sketching some of those out today. By all means, if anyone has any questions at all, and it looks like I might have frozen a little bit, I'm coming through a little bit choppy. Hopefully, I'm not. Let me see if I can adjust that. Let's see. I don't think I can while I'm live. So maybe it'd be something for me to look at. Maybe that'll help. Not sure. Maybe it will. Don't know if the setting I just changed will be useful or not. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I don't quite know. Um, but I do think I am a little bit laggy, so I apologize for that. Not sure if that's my Wi-Fi or what, but let's see. We'll set that to auto. Yeah, we'll see how things go. Hopefully, I'm not super choppy, but I might be. I'm not sure. Um, cool. So I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna work on sketching out some dragon heads and some different perspectives. Just trying to draw some things differently, because I'm just trying to be different and carve out my own path. Let's see. Maybe it's this one. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Dragons are something that have always kind of been difficult for me to draw because you can look at other people's work, but once you break everything down into basic shapes, I usually find that that's a bit more helpful. But you always see like the same dragon heads drawn at the same perspectives, and that's not the kind of work that I want to do. I want to do different kind of stuff. It's one of the reasons why text has always been so inspirational to me. I draw dragon a bit differently than probably a lot of people out there. Um, I come from a uh, very different kind of illustrative way where I always start out with a circle just to give myself a perspective. Just keeping like light and sketchy, nothing crazy, nothing, I'm not worried about anything being accurate. The reason I started with a circle, and actually I want to bring this down here, is because I use circle to kind of denote direction. Which way do I want things to move, and where do I want things to kind of flow in a three-dimensional space. Because I'm working with trying to get different perspectives. Circles and spheres always are cool with that. And I want to try to draw dragon head where you have more of the underbelly underneath it that's visible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with a curve that's kind of up on the upper portion of this little circle, kind of cutting it in half. Not even really in half, more in like thirds. Just kind of bringing that over. I'm going to use this as this edge, and I'm going to draw another one that's coming down from the top over here. And this is going to give me my my center point, my perspective. I'm actually going to rotate this over a tiny bit. And this center line is going to become very important later on. Same thing with this line that I've drawn here. It's going to become extremely important later on as I start to add in a lot of the other elements. But at this point in time, what this is going to show me is I've got this angle here, right? And I've got this angle here. Now, this one, this cross piece that I drew first, is definitely be important because that's going to help me keep everything parallel. For example, the top of the eyebrow ridge. It's going to help me denote where the jaw is, the opening on the bottom side of the jaw. It's going to help me keep the top of the nose and the nostrils all in line. And it's going to help show me where the where everything is basically going to line up. The dragon I'm going to be drawing does have a closed mouth. It's not going to have an open mouth because I don't want it to be super aggressive. I don't want it to be tame, but I don't want it to be super aggressive either. So I'm actually going to bring this down, create a new layer now that I've got some of that all mocked up. And I'm going to draw a couple of eyes. Let's do... I'm just going to draw an eye here and an eye here. And since I know that this is going to be parallel with this, this can come across. This can come over here. Now I know most of the eye on the right-hand side is going to end up getting blocked out a lot by the snout of the dragon. But I still want to make sure I've got that denoted anyway so that all of my other pieces fall into line. I always like to draw a cylinder for the brow ridge. That just helps me, once again, keeps everything proportioned, keeps everything in line, and helps me really focus on, okay, if this is the brow ridge, I know I want to have an ear back here. Right? Maybe I want it to be pointed down a little bit, or maybe I want it to be back a little bit more. I'm not really getting specific with any of this right now. I'm just kind of, tooling around and just seeing what shapes work best where, and how do I want this to look, right? Once we get our basics down, we can then go through and refine and refine and refine and refine and refine, always working broad to specific, because that is going to be the best way to help refine what it is we are drawing. Now I may move this a bit closer. The nose of this dragon, I may bring that a bit closer. So I'm going to want to draw these lines a little bit more parallel. Now I'm going to draw one circle for the nostrils, even though this is going to get mostly covered. And then I'm going to do a big trapezoid shape or polygon if we want to get back to our geometry classes. It'd definitely be more of a polygon. There's one nostril, and here's the other one, kind of peeking out behind this part. Now, some people do like a little hook for the nostril, depending on the type of dragon I'm drawing. If I'm drawing more of like wyvern or an English dragon, it's going to be a bit different. Maybe for a wyvern or an English dragon, I'm going to have a lot more spikes, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a thinner, longer snout, almost like a caiman. But for this, I'm going to keep it a little bit more rounded. I can always change that later and make it a bit more sharp if I want to. This I'm going to round off because this is all part of the brow ridge and the part that separates the eyes. Because we know it's going to have an underside view, a lot of this is going to end up being covered. We're going to draw a little bit of a flap over top of the bottom portion of this eye. That way we have everything indicated that this eye is sitting back into the head. We're not really going to see that on the other side at all. Now I'm going to go through and utilizing my parallel line structure. I'm going to find the edge where this bottom jaw would kind of curl down. Then this would kind of continue back with the body. Common mistake people make when drawing Asian-inspired dragons is they don't include the neck portion on the bottom side of the head to show where those belly scales kind of originate. So it's something that I'm always conscious of doing. Always trying to stay conscious of different things and how does this look and is this at the right angle, to kind of show exactly what it is I'm trying to illustrate. This will be the mouth. We've got a cheekbone over here, so we're just going to kind of draw a little bit of an oval or a circle and kind of accent that. And then that'll come up here. And you can start to see our dragon taking shape. You can start to see, the eyes sitting or being inset inside of the skull. I'm going to want to bring the crest of the head up a bit more, even though you're not really going to see too much of it once we get into the horns. And this is where you start to see almost like fingerprints, and how everyone that draws dragons is pretty unique. Some people do a very low profile head, so they're not going to have too much of the top of it showing. Other people like to do a very high dome on the head. It's all kind of a personal preference from here on out. But remember, dragons are mythical creatures. You can literally make them look however you want them to look, and who's going to tell you that you're wrong? I surely won't. That's not. Maybe we'll give them a big old spaceship head. Who knows? I think for now I'm just going to stick with a classic. Just bring this back a bit more to illustrate that there is a little bit of it showing, even though it might not be that much. there's going to be a little bit there. And we'll have the mouth kind of ending right by where the ear is. So we'll bring that back a little bit more, and maybe bring our cheekbone up a little higher and back down. Bring this down, create like a little loop. Give us a place for us to kick a little tooth out. You know, on the underside of the dragon, you're going to see a lot of the belly scales that are on the soft palate, just like you would if you were looking at an alligator or crocodile. You're going to start to see a lot of the soft palate on the underside of the lower jaw. I believe that would be the mandible, but I don't really know some of the technical anatomical terms. So I don't know if alligators and crocodiles have mandibles, but it's where it is. It's that soft piece right at the bottom of the mouth. And that's where you're going to start to see a lot of these belly scales originate. Now I'm going to go through, choose a darker color, maybe a darker green. Now is when I'm going to start to go back through and refine some things. And I'm still going to keep it kind of rough, just because I know that I don't have all of the elements roughed in that I need to have roughed in, but I've got a pretty good idea of where they're going. Maybe this will come down here, this will come down here, making sure that I stick with my parallel lines. That'll give me that. We'll make this little overlap a little smaller. Then we've got our eye. Right, this area here is actually the bridge of the nose. Depending on where our light source is coming from, we might see a little bit of the eye here, but most of this is going to be hidden. This brow ridge will come over and down. And then connect to the top of the head. Maybe I do want the this ear over here. Maybe I want that to be up a tiny bit more. We'll just kind of show how that connects. And we'll drop this down. I always like to give dragon ears like a little notch in them, almost like they were punched labyrinths. Show some grit. Maybe take a little couple of slices out of it or something. It's got like a little notch missing up at the top too. That'd be cool. I mean, not if I was a dragon, that would kind of suck. If like my ear looked kind of notched and worn, like someone was chewing on it. But I'm not a dragon. At least I don't think so. So this is going to come up. Just kind of slowly refining things. I'm not afraid to go through and do like a little bit of value shading just to show what parts are where. The inner portion of the ear, sometimes I'll just block it in. I'll create some little ridges, and then I'll do some like little hatching, sketching, just to show some value of where certain areas might be in more shadow. It just helps me keep on top of, where do I want my light source to be coming from, what areas are moving backwards, what areas are moving forwards, how do I want this to look in the long run. Um, Now I'm going to go through and we'll just give the dragon a bit of a bumpy nose. Like a bridge of the nose is a little bumpy. Now we're coming up to the nostril. I always like to give dragons low profile nostrils that are definitely wider than they are long. Uh, hmm. And this will come down. I always like to block out and try to make sure that your angles here, right, are the same as here. Now this may come a little bit more and then curve back in, but I still want to make sure that I'm sticking with the same like perspective on. I'll even go through and do a little bit of value sketching here just to show where that nostril is kind of rolling over if it was three-dimensional. Might even add a couple of extra notches over here. Nostril will be over there. And once again, just a little bit of value sketching just to show where that light might be hitting it. You know, we're not going to see too much of the top of the snout of the dragon. Now I'm going to come through and kind of mark the opening of the mouth, even though that's a bit too high. I do want the mouth. Sometimes I'll make the upper lip curl around a little bit, but it kind of depends on what perspective it's at. Sometimes I'll just leave it be and I'll just do, you know, pretty much straight lip. Just so that I have an idea of how, you know, where that's going to end up being, to show a little bit of the perspective, because I'm going to end up doing a big old beard or mustache here for the dragon anyway. So a lot of this is going to end up getting covered up regardless of how I draw the lip. So we'll just get rid of that for now. I want to make sure that my angles are correct. That'll be good. I bring this up a little bit more until we can get to the cheekbone. And then we've got our mouth back here. You know, I'm not trying to take too much time on this. I mean, I think I've only spent, what, maybe 15 minutes sketching it. If by 10 minutes of working on something, I'm not a fan of it, I'll take all of the layers that I used to create it, I'll group them, and then I'll turn them off, create a new layer, and I'll start again. Because if I'm investing more than 15 minutes into something, it better be what I'm envisioning, and it better be along the lines of what it is I'm trying to ultimately achieve. If it's not, but it could still be useful, I'll save it for later. I'll just hide those layers, maybe come back to it in a week or so and, you know, finish it up for a different, project, maybe painting, maybe it's a sketch, go in a sketchbook, who knows? But typically speaking, if I spend more than 15 minutes working on something, I'm going to want to go through and see it through to the end. If I'm just doing quick little speed sketches with it, cool, whatever. I'm just trying to explore perspective to see what would look good or what would look good or, you know, anything of that nature. Uh, to see if maybe it's going to fit in the project that I'm sketching out for. But I always try to stick to maybe 10 to 15 minutes max if I'm doing some sketching for a tattoo. And if it's not what I like, I'll edit it and start again. And then I'll spend another 5, 10, 15 minutes doing a different perspective. Then after that, maybe a different perspective. Maybe I want to curl this part down. But say I go back through at this point and I'm looking through my notes and the client says that they want a dragon that's still kind of peaceful, but maybe it's flying down, right? Maybe they want the head of the dragon up on the deltoid and bicep area, and they want the rest of the body coming down. Well, then I would go through and I would switch perspectives and I would switch the angle at which I'm drawing this dragon. This dragon is going to be showing a bit more of the underbelly. So it's going to look like it's flying a bit more upwards than it is flying down. Now, you could angle it down like this, but that wouldn't really make too much sense. Not with the amount of underbelly of the dragon that you would be seeing. So I would like to try to keep that in mind. If it's just for me, say for an art project or painting, and I've got whole documents on my iPad just dedicated to dragon heads. Here's a couple that I sketched out. Let's see. I've got that one. That was a sketch. That was a sketch. That was a sketch. Another one. Another one. Try to keep them, 10, 15 minutes, and just see if they're turning out the way that you want them to turn out. See if you've got your angles correct. If not, go back through, explore that a bit more and adjust some angles. Maybe I want even more underbelly. So now I'm going to go back through. I'm going to start again. And I'll try this more extreme angle. Always start off with a big light brush. Just keep it sketchy, Okay, so if I want to come down here, I really want to show more of the underjaw. The eye is almost not going to, that far eye is almost not going to be visible at all. Cylinder at the top. Got our cross beam. The bottom of the chin. And triangle back here for the E. This is going to be the upper lip. Right, and then we've got lower lip. So that you won't be seeing. So this is all going to be like underbelly in here. Can work with that, and I'll refine that a little bit more. And then this will be a little nostril guy. And that'll be where the lips meet. It'll be an eye. This eye you're not going to see hardly at all. But you will see some of the brow ridge coming up. Good. So maybe 10, 15 minutes on each little sketch. And that's only because I draw kind of slow. I know some artists out there won't even spend 10 minutes on a sketch. They'll only spend maybe 5. And if it's not the way that they're envisioning it turning out, they'll scrap it and they'll start something else, after only 5 minutes. But either way, it's a good practice to go through and just work on speed sketching and just try to go through and try to draw whatever it is that you're trying to draw, at least the essence of it, as quickly as you can, because time is money at the end of the day. And I'd rather be making money than sitting there and working for 3 hours on a sketch that will never be developed into anything useful. But that's also my own 2 cents on things. Maybe some whiskers, chin hair, eyebrows. Maybe I'll give this one more of like a tiered head. Though you're not going to see too much of it, but it doesn't matter. And then this would be beard hair. Quick little sketch of a dragon, nothing crazy, but you get the gist. So I'm going to be sketching some more of those today for a painting I'm going to be working on. We are almost out of time for today, so I did want to go through and say a very special thank you to everyone that was watching today. I don't know how many people are still out there and watching, but thank you very much for tuning in today. Come back. Hey, there we go. Thanks, guys, for watching today. We've got a couple more special guest interviews coming up throughout the summer, so please stay tuned to the channel. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down at the bottom of the page, that we can stay up to date for all the latest artist interviews. I've got a number of people that I'm going to be lining up for some interviews today. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and make sure to keep those hands busy.